What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. We'll be starting up pretty shortly, so just sit back and relax. Subscribe to the channel. Tons of awesome content and videos coming. Video description. It helps a positive environment. Also, we will be making sure that these rules are followed.
That's I did this and try to more. I have had problems on that block before with internet service. I don't really know what's going on over there. Hopefully the connection is stable now. All right, I guess I'll do the introduction here after this ambulance passes and the bus goes. Well, let me do it now. Welcome everybody to the live stream. It's Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. It's 7 o'clock in the nighttime, and it's 34 Fahrenheit, 1 degree Celsius at 86th Street. For some reason, the cell phone service gets kind of wonky over here between 3rd Avenue and 2nd Avenue along 86th. I had this problem before with Verizon. It would have fixed it. Not. And why is my connection going back down again? Verizon doesn't like 86th Street, unfortunately. I may have to do a SIM card swap right from the get-go. Maybe that's what I'll do. Pat Waters, you think it's that general area? I think so too. The last time I came here was a few months ago. I had the same issue with Verizon. I'm gonna switch over to AT&T. Let me do that. Haven't had to do one of these in a while. But I want to show you that area that I wanted to start off at. Because there's a lot of activity there. Lena says, good night. I know, because I moved out of the area. But now we have an issue with the service, which is annoying. We're going to do a SIM card swap. Okay. I hate when there's technical issues like this. And then this is my second attempt at a live stream because the first one was buffering really badly and I didn't even choose my thumbnail. That's my bad. Okay. SIM card tray is here it is. I'll be right back. I'm popping the SIM tray out.
You and Xavier, because y'all bust some shits down for some reason. I'll bring like some candy and some shit. Like some chocolate, some M&M's, Hershey's, Kit Kats, Airheads, some shit like that. And actually I could get them from Target over here. So whichever one we decide to go to, we want to go to the here, it doesn't matter because I can actually go to Target and get that shit for cheap. So
Okay. Not often in New York City do you have to do a SIM card swap, but let's straighten everybody out here. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. Hey, the bus is coming. M86 at 86 and Lexington Avenue. We got a good view of the bus from here. We're not taking the bus though, although I'm pretty much taking the same route as the bus, walking. Let me adjust this gimbal so it's not crooked, because I had to take it off from the gimbal to put in the SIM tray. I think it's straight now. Okay. Verizon is not good here. I can tell you that much. So this was the area before that I had problems with. You would think Verizon would work well here. There's tons of people, it's a busy area, but this is a dead spot for Verizon. Maisie says, as a New York native, you're ashamed to say you've never heard of the American Dream Mall until my video. Yeah, it's a pretty new mall. It only opened in 2019. So it's only about 3-4 years old. I just did a walk up 2nd Avenue and recorded a video. Ali and Deanna, Verizon claims to work everywhere. Happened to us when we were in New York City. That's the issue with cell phone providers, because they say they have quote-unquote coverage, but according to their maps, if one person in the area has internet service, then it's covered. But if 99 out of the 100 people don't have internet service, that's still a covered area. So you just kind of have to experiment until you find something that works. And maybe that's why I know AT&T works well here, because there's an AT&T store right here, right on the corner. Thoroughly 99, will I be walking the entirety of 86th Street? Yes, I'm gonna go to the waterfront. I'll also show you Gracie Mansion. Laurie says the connection's a bit blurry. I'm showing a stable bit rate right now. You can refresh it because whenever I do a SIM swap, the quality drops. YouTube automatically drops the quality for people. JY 63245N in Two Bridges in Chinatown. There's a smell of smoke. Yes, the local news was reporting that it was a fire from I think a refinery or somewhere in Newark, the port of Newark, and there was like plastic and some other stuff burning. So that's what was causing the smoke and the strange odors. And the winds carried it all over to New York City. Thanks to Mars Cologne with $1.99. You used T-Mobile in New York last month, no problem. Thank you, Damaris. Appreciate the support. And Midnight Blue with $1.99. Thank you. Thank you, Damaris and Midnight Blue. Yeah, I find T-Mobile, they've been getting better in New York, but Verizon's still the best. I find Verizon works in like 85 to 90% of the time in New York. T-Mobile maybe like 70%. AT&T I don't really use that much, so I can't really comment on AT&T, but they're decent too. So this is 2nd Avenue. There's tons of restaurants along 2nd Avenue.
8 months and no teachers. Yeah.
Rob Vargas says, I'm back in your neighborhood again. That's right. I'm back in the Upper East Side.
Yes, it is the one back there.
Diner is called Gracie's Corner, and it's in reference to Gracie Mansion, which is the home of the New York City mayor, at the end of the 86th Street area in Carl Schurz Park. This bus comes quite frequently. Ishan asks if I live in Manhattan. No, I don't. I live in Queens, which is the one of the outer boroughs. Laurie says, enjoy my walk through the maze of corridors to get to the Port Authority bus, and you like the ride as well. Thanks, Laurie. It's confusing even for me to find the right gates and to buy the right ticket from the Port Authority bus terminal. I've ridden New Jersey Transit many times, and their app and ticketing system is so complicated. You have to a number of zones. Sometimes you're going from one place to another, you don't even know what zone it is. It's the frustrating part about it. And then if you buy a ticket for the wrong bus, people don't know that you can use it for any other bus route, even though the ticket is printed for a particular bus route. As long as you're not exceeding the number of zones that's printed on your ticket. Pharmacy and Tisane Cafe. There's a cafe in here also, along with a pharmacy. No, it just says pharmacy over here now. That's strange. And then it has herbs, teas, organic products. Ginger Fireball. Huh. Kind of fun. I just got a super chat from I'm a Gamer Guy with $5 today while making deliveries in 2nd Ave. Was almost struck by a moped on the bike lane. What's your thought on mopeds and bike lanes? Isn't that illegal? Yes it is, because they're gas powered and they go over a certain speed limit. But as many people know, New York City's road rules are liberally enforced, I should say. The amount of stuff I see on the streets of New York with motor vehicles, bicycles, pedestrians, there should be a lot more violations given out by the police department, but they're pretty lax about it. Which I think is kind of a sad thing too, because the city kind of sends out a message that it's like the Wild West out here with driving. And I don't really think that's a good message to be putting out there. It's safe to drive your car, go above the speed limit and hit someone, right? And then when the police officer gets there, they say, oh, it's not the driver's fault. We'll just charge the driver with a misdemeanor. That's what happens here, frankly, in New York. Janice Lamar, did I buy new heated gloves? Yes, I did buy some new heated gloves. Hey, Aya Vlogs, welcome to the channel. Haven't seen you in a long time, Aya. Or should I say MJ? We've got a long corridor of scaffolding. I think York Avenue is coming up. That guy says car insurance must be really high in New York City. Yes, it is. Owning a car, period, is expensive here in New York City. You have not only do you have the car payments to make, but you have to deal with the tolls you're gonna have to pay, the violations, gasoline, the maintenance fees. So it's not just car insurance. Not only that, but oftentimes you can get places a lot quicker than driving by just taking the subway or walking, even because of a lot of traffic. And Cosmo Scurry says, am I excited for the snow this weekend? So far I've heard there might be a nor'easter coming, but there's certain models by weather forecasters. Some of them are saying that it's going to be out into the ocean and not really touching New York City that much, or Maybe it is, I don't know. We'll just have to find out as the date gets closer. There's one video I did this month. The weather forecast said 100% chance of snow. I was in the middle of Central Park and I did not see anything but just squirrels and a nice body of water and the geese and no snow. Brian says for you, one of the models saying 31 inches. We'll see. When I see it, I'll believe it. That's what I'll say. And then there's a video I did, I think last week, the snowfall in Astoria, Queens. That was supposed to be like 2 inches of accumulation, and I waited for that snow to come down. It didn't really accumulate, but I was like, if I don't record this now, it's never gonna happen anyway. So I just made a video in Astoria Park. But if they really start hyping up the snow the day before, saying, oh, it's gonna come as a major snowstorm, then you could pretty much guess that there's gonna be some kind of accumulation, and that's kind of good weather to go out if you like the snow. Tony Moyes says we had 18 inches last year. Yeah, I remember that. I wasn't even in New York City during that time. I was in Boston, and I think Boston got like 12 inches of snow. So New York got more snow than Boston, but I was even out there in Boston doing a live stream in the snow. So I guess we just have to be prepared for anything this weekend, if this nor'easter is going to come or not, or if there's any kind of snowfall. But what I wish, if there is some snowfall, I don't want it to snow in 2 o'clock in the morning again, or like 4 o'clock in the morning. I want it to be daytime when it's snowing. I think that's more fun. Going out in the middle of the night and there's no one around and it's snowing, it's kind of eerie. I like it when there's people around and the sun is out when it's snowing. Okay, here is East End Avenue. Across the street from me is Carl Schurz Park, which is right along the East River. It's a quiet avenue. I wonder if we'll find Mayor Eric Adams around the Gracie mansion tonight. CJ101 says it's very cold in Florida. Yeah, even down in Florida it's cold right now. It's unusual for it to be that cold. I think it's in the 60s down there now. It depends on which part, of course. Roxy says, what month do I recommend to visit New York City? I guess what I should really be asking you is, what do you want from New York City? And that'll decide when the best time is for you. Because if you want good weather is very subjective to people. If you want Christmas decorations, then come November, December. If you want inexpensive prices, come in January, February. If you want a little bit of both, come during the fall. If you want high tourist season and hot weather and humid weather, come during the summer. But I think New York City and all times of the year is great to visit. Is that a dog over there? Sounds like a dog. Let's investigate. Yep, over there. They're in the dog run. Hello. Whoa. That's so cool.
That silky voice anywhere.
Everyone's so friendly here, including the pets. And look at the view, not of Manhattan, but of Roosevelt Island, the Queensboro Bridge down there. And then you have Astoria, Queens, right here. And we can see the new development happening by Hallett's Cove. These buildings here, these new high-rise buildings, never used to be here about like 10 years ago. Out and About wants to know when where the Roosevelt Island tram is. We won't be able to see it. It's way down there by the bridge. Miami walking and driving tours. Do people live on Roosevelt Island? Yes, they do. They sure do. I've been there a few times. It went by different names over the years. I think first it was Blackwell Island, and then it became Welfare Island, and now it's Roosevelt Island. Slippy Bippy, my wife and I enjoyed meeting you at the DiMartino house. Hey, yes, I remember that. I think you also gave me a card too. I was looking at the back of it. I saw what you wrote. But no, I don't know that person. I'm not related to that person. Thank you. It's nice meeting you too. Look at how cold out it is right now, and you have these people running along the river. How Yan asks, how do people living on Roosevelt Island do grocery shopping? There's grocery stores on Roosevelt Island, and you could also bring the groceries on the subway. There's a subway station there, Roosevelt Island. Just because you live on an island doesn't mean there's no grocery stores. Quite often there's people who buy their groceries in a different borough, and then they'll transport it to where they live. I've done that before. I always go to Chinatown and get groceries too, and I bring it back to Astoria, Queens, where I live. Barnabas Bullpet says, hard to find a public restroom on Roosevelt Island this late. Yeah, that's the issue with New York City in general. Especially the outer boroughs, because there really aren't too many public restrooms around New York City. So here's Gracie Mansion. Looks like there's a fence still up. You can't see it still. Oh wait, you can still see the top of it. There's Gracie Mansion, where Eric Adams lives, the new mayor. Ooh, look at this tugboat. It's pushing all these containers. And we got 2 for 1 too. Look at this. The New York City ferry. This ferry will go towards Astoria, Queens. O.B. Griffin, Eric Adams still lives in Brooklyn. Yeah, some mayors, they don't move in right away to the Gracie Mansion. And even the mayor before the last one, Mayor Gracie Mansion. Another ferry just came in. Green Eye 73, you've taken this ferry when you stayed in Astoria. I don't think I'll go down this way because it'll be difficult to cross the highway if I go that way. So I'll just walk on the reverse side of the Gracie Mansion. Thanks, It's About the Water Life with $5. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. And Miranda asks, what is the warning for? You mean this one? The lawn closed temporarily. I really wish they could take this inner fence down and just leave the outer fence. It's not very pleasing when you have a fence around the home and you can't see it. Square Beth says the lawn looks dead. Yeah. It's gonna need a lot of work to redo this. Willie Khan says no In-N-Out burger in New York City. Yeah, you're right. There's no In-N-Out burger here. I think it's just a West Coast thing. Janet R, $5. Good evening, Action Kid. Enjoying tonight's stream. Thank you, Janet R. Appreciate the support. Yeah, but right now, you'll see a lot of this stuff really won't be blooming right now. It's the middle of the winter time. We're gonna get snow, so you know, a long time ago, they actually started the new year in the spring. It was only the introduction of the Gregorian calendar that they started the new year in January, in the dead of winter. And you kind of have to wonder why they did that. I mean, I think starting the new year in like March would make a lot more sense when there's spring out and like stuff is blooming. Slippy Bippy says, when is the Chinese New Year? It's February 1st. That's the year of the tiger. Cumulus says, most people live in Queens, caves, therefore you can't see them. Yes, I celebrate Chinese New Year. That one. Well, Lee Khan says January is the most depressing time of the year in New York City for sure. Well, I kind of find it's a good month to reflect on yourself. It's a good month to go explore your city because there's less people out. So it won't take you as long to get places because you don't have to fight with the tourists. So there's pros to it too. And plus, you get the snowfall too. So what I'm gonna do now is head down York Avenue. York Avenue is a nice little street with tons of shops and a nice community. Haven't really shown York Avenue too much lately. Also, this section of the Upper East Side is called Yorkville. Thank you, Universe, with 10,001. Thank you, Universe. Really appreciate the support. Miranda's asking, how many miles do I walk daily on average? I do about 17,200 steps, according to my health app. Average, I walk about 6.5 miles a day. Here you can see the contrast between the older buildings here, and then you have high-rise buildings like this. Thanks, John the Marine, with a $5 super chat. Appreciate the support, John the Marine. Hey, look at this. We won't have to deal with depressing scaffolding because we got some pretty lights on the other side of it. So it's not all that gloomy. Brenda Botcher with $10. Be safe. Thank you for your hard work to take us to some places we can never go to. Thanks, Brenda. Appreciate the support. Glad you're enjoying the channel.
No, you took it.
She's wearing shorts in this freezing weather. I don't know how people can do it. Bagel Bob's on New York. Huh. Looks like an interesting place. Who wears short shorts? Maybe they're just built for this weather. Maybe they're from Siberia in Russia and they have naturally cold resistant skin. We're back to 86th Street. Andrew Lee says, great video on American Dream. Thank you so much. I'm going to be publishing the video of the shopping mall tomorrow morning. So I'm really looking forward to the reactions to that video. This is a fitness studio? No, I think it's vacant. I was about to say that Chinese spas strategically placed next to the fitness studio. After your workout, you just go next door to get treatment. Andrew Lee says, do I plan to do any live streams of Chinese New Year? Yeah, I plan to do something. We'll see. Independent woman, 20 bucks. Very nice super chat, independent woman. Stay warm, we're cold here in Tampa, Florida. It's 50 degrees with rain. Thank you for the view, be safe. Thanks, independent woman. Appreciate the support. It's 34 here. When I was down in Florida last February, there was a big difference between the West Coast, the Gulf Coast, and the East Coast of Florida. It felt a lot cooler on the Gulf Coast. Gracie's Wines. Dean says, looks like a big snowstorm coming Saturday. Yes, I was just talking about that earlier. I don't know what it's going to bring to New York, but if there's going to be a big snowstorm, you can guarantee I'm planning to go out there to record it. So I'll see the snow when it gets there. Prince DYL, $5. What area of New York would you recommend to tourists if they want the full New York experience? We love the big cities and all. Oh my gosh. The full New York experience. I would have to say, if it's your first time, you definitely should experience Midtown Manhattan and get a hotel there, I think. You'll be right in the heart of the city. You'll do all the tourist things there and you could knock that off really quickly. But there's still a lot more to New York City than just Midtown and downtown, the financial district. More adventurous travelers will go to the outer boroughs. They'll check out Jersey City. They'll go to the Bronx. They'll go sample some foods, some great soul food in Harlem, some great Chinese food in Flushing. They'll go down to Brighton Beach, have some Eastern European food. Or they'll go to Greenpoint, have Polish food. So there's a lot of things you could do here. And I just limited my speech there to just food. There's a lot more than just food in those neighborhoods too. Waleed says, check out Museum of Modern Art and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Yeah, that's another thing too. For those of you who are into cultural institutions, there's so many museums here in New York too. You could spend an entire lifetime here in New York and not run out of things to do here. You see me, I have like a different video in a different place every day, and I'm surprised at what I could find. Like tomorrow, the American Dream Mall. I've never been there, and you're gonna see why I would recommend people who live in this area to go visit at least once. And that video will be published tomorrow. Yes, Yankee War, there's a lot more to New York than just New York City. That's right. There's upstate New York, there's Westchester County, there's Nassau County, there's Suffolk County. It's very convenient to get public transportation to get out of New York City too whenever you want a real adventure. Or if you like me, you take the city bus to the border of Queens and Long Island and you straddle the border and find all the weird street cuts. EW says your channel's the best. Other YouTubers just walk around Midtown. You appreciate me showing all of New York. Thanks so much. Appreciate the support. Although if you do notice, most of my videos are focused on Manhattan. And to be honest, Manhattan does draw in the views and the audience to my channel because everybody knows Manhattan. And that's also where the most action is. But I do visit the other boroughs. I go to different places too. Bonnie, you love seeing my videos of New York City. Live in New York, about an hour from Niagara Falls, so New York City is kind of far. Yeah, it's far to get to Niagara Falls from New York. I think driving up there would take like 11, 12 hours. New York State is long and it's huge. The name of this place is What I have for dinner tonight? I went to This place just opening, Convenience Tobacco. Looks new. Oh, Bob, your hometown was Belrose, Queens. That was a fun neighborhood to go by. Laurie says, I appreciate I cover much of New York, including upstate from time to time. To be honest, I haven't really covered too much of New York State outside of Westchester County. The farthest I went was Poughkeepsie, I think, on this channel in New York State. So I guess this is their local supermarket, the D'Agostino supermarket. I think they were having some financial difficulties, but I'm not really sure what happened to it. I remember seeing an article like months ago, maybe a year ago. There was a Pokemon store there. I didn't even notice. Oh, Waleed, you like my video of Salem, Massachusetts during Halloween? Yeah, that's fun to visit. Just make sure you plan for it though, because my experience there may not be the same experience you have. I did a video on my second channel, Action Kid Extra. There was this guy on Reddit who had a really bad time with public transportation and he wasn't prepared for it at all. across 79th Street now. Maybe I'll visit the Metropolitan Museum of Art because we brought it up already, and also the Guggenheim Museum. It's closed right now. It's way after their hours. Joni says you're from upstate New York, about 6 hours from me. I've been to upstate New York. It's really nice. I've even been to Plattsburgh, New York, which is almost to the Canada border. But I've never been to Buffalo or Niagara Falls before. I've been to Syracuse, Binghamton, Ithaca. I've been to Albany. All really nice places. But that was back then. Right now, I think some of them may have lost a lot of their residents and are struggling. Zan says, don't go to Niagara Falls, the United States side, of course. I've heard the United States side, the New York side, is in bad condition. Over there, overlooking the falls, the actual city of Niagara Falls, New York, isn't in the best shape. Midnight Blue, you've been to that museum 3 times, you still haven't seen everything. Yeah, I hear you on that. I don't know how many times I've been to that museum, but I haven't seen everything either. Thanks to Ron 6950 with 475. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Well, he says, weird how much of New York State is neglected. I mean, yeah, that has to do with a lot of issues. And one of them is because a lot of manufacturing jobs used to be in those cities and those places. And with progress in the world, that manufacturing has moved somewhere else. And as a result, all the jobs there, they've dried up, and it's tough to make a living up there now. And it doesn't really seem like much investment goes back into those cities anymore, in those places. And that's why their economies and their system there isn't really doing too well. Thanks Midnight Blue with 99 cents. Appreciate it so much. Dennis says upstate New York is a tough market. It's tough, I know. There's also parts of New York State that are good for farmland too. But New York State's economy is really powered by the city itself, by New York City, and the areas immediately surrounding New York City, like Nassau County, Westchester County, the Hudson Valley. Those are how I should say the more well-off parts of New York State. Upstate New York isn't really doing as well as New York City is. So we still got a ways to go until I get to the museum. I'm on 2nd Avenue. I need to walk to 5th Avenue. And that doesn't mean 3 blocks either. We still got 3rd Avenue, we still got Lexington, still got Park, Madison, and then 5th. So it's actually 5 streets I need to cross. Ike Turner says, looks like 79th Street, I'm guessing. Yes, it is. Here we have a Jewish synagogue, the Sharei Tefillah. Nice guy says New York City suburbs and Connecticut are great. You never move away. Yeah, that's the entire New York City metropolitan area. It's a huge area that covers 3 different states. Laurie says, I missed the super chat. I did. Let me scroll back and look for it. Ah, there it is. Dr. Ray Rays, thank you for $10. Showing some love, Action Kid. Thank you, Dr. Ray Rays. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for coming out today and watching this live stream. Oh, we just passed by the New York Public Library. Wait, is this library even open? Looks like it's under construction. Yeah, the Yorkville library is closed for building repairs, it says. Temporary closure. So these people are going to have to find another library to use while this one's being fixed. Now there's a lot less people out on the streets. All right, the light's gonna change just for me. All right. Great timing. Yeah, you're right, Mike. That's exactly the reason why people aren't out. It's late, it's cold, and a lot of people have that mindset. They become snowbirds because they can't take the cold weather. Or you gotta bundle up like this from Vivaldi. Steve says Vivaldi knows a thing or two about season. Yeah, that's right. Like that famous classical music piece, The Four Seasons. That's the one with different movements according to the season. But I think the most famous one is spring. Jose Catherine says, thank you for Upper East Side. We're moving on up like the Jeffersons. Thank you, Jose Catherine. Appreciate the support. Looks like it's garbage collection day on 79th Street. Tamilis says, any tips for a first timer to New York City to help get them over the anxiety of riding the subway? One way you can do that is to watch one of my videos that will give you a lot of clues. So you don't have to actually go down there to ride it at first. You can actually experience from your screen. But what I could tell you about the subway, if you're ever uncomfortable riding the subway, then try to stay near crowds if you can, and wait on the platform where the conductor is, where the subway is going to arrive. So you're always near a employee if you need help. We're getting closer to Fifth Avenue now. Mariana, you're amazed at the amount of scaffolding around New York. I know, tell me about it. There's one on that corner, there's one over there, mid-block, and then there's one on this corner here. You can never get away from it. Hoey says I should play Pokemon Go with all that walking. I used to, but then I found out I can do a lot more things with my time than spend it on Pokemon Go walking around. I want this dog's hair right now. That would add a lot of warmth to the walk right now. This dog doesn't need a jacket. Looks like a sheep, that dog. We've got a few seconds to cross Park Avenue. Hey, look at this. They still got the Christmas trees on Park Avenue. This hasn't gone yet, but they're not lit anymore. Midnight Blue, you feel pretty safe when you take the subways, however you don't take them late at night. Yeah. That could be an issue if you're uncomfortable with it. So you kind of have to wait. If you're uncomfortable taking the train at certain hours of the day, you can call a car service instead. G says, how late do the subways run? They're running all the time. 24 hours. Bob says, you find the subway platforms more dangerous than the ride itself. Yes, I'd have to agree with you there. The subway platform, I'm always on the lookout because a lot of things can go wrong on the subway platform. The most important thing on the subway platform is to stand back when the train's coming in the station. Matthew Whitted, thank you so much for $5. Appreciate the support, Matthew. It's still 34. Claire says, in London, some of your stations have glass walls and doors to protect people from falling or being pushed on the tracks. Yes, those are the platform screen doors. They help a lot when it comes to safety. Jason, considering you go all around New York City, where do you think the most dangerous places in New York City are? Most dangerous places in New York. I have to think about it. Because in general, I feel pretty safe in New York. Nowadays, it doesn't feel like it's one area of New York City that's unsafe. It's kind of like the city as a whole. So, Bob, not Bob. Jacqueline says maybe around Harlem. Oh yes, I do know a place that's really bad that I don't really feel comfortable going to. Anthony S., thank you for $10. Most dangerous block in Manhattan has to be 125th Street and Lexington Avenue. Over there, it's kind of crazy. There's a lot of drug addicts over there. I've seen fights happen on that in that subway station too, and that entire block is not very good. That's the spot that I would avoid going to and if you do need to go to that area, make sure you get out of that area fast. You don't want to linger. The last time I was there, I walked past a deli, and the deli owner was talking to somebody. No, it wasn't talking, shouting at someone else because he claimed he hit a customer with a cane. But yeah, that area, 125th Street and Lexington Avenue in Harlem, is bad news. That area is not good. I think there's also like a mental health institution somewhere around there too, so when they get let out onto the streets, it causes a big problem over there. All right, finally we've made it to 5th Avenue. Here's the Ukrainian Institute of America. We saw the nice Christmas tree in front here back in December. And there's the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Right over there. I think I'll wait for the light. Clint says Penn Station late at night can be dangerous. Yeah, it can be. That area around Penn Station and the Port Authority bus terminal, 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue, 9th Avenue, from like 28th Street up to 50th Street, I'd say, can get a little bit dicey. Zan says, if money's not an issue, which neighborhood would you buy in New York? I think Central Park South. That's where I'd live. Although the problem with Central Park South is I'll be missing a lot of the cultural food, so I really don't know how to solve that. All right. Of course, we got scaffolding blocking some of the view of the museum. There it is. Chris says free Steam to get your facial. Look at that. Across the street, you've got halal carts, but the halal carts are not manned right now. They're going to get ready for the next day. Thanks, Susie Griffith, $10. Thanks for showing us New York. Buy yourself a warm drink or a slice. Thanks so much. Appreciate the support. Beautiful museum. I should go back again and look at the new exhibits. I'm gonna head up towards the Guggenheim Museum and then I'll wrap this live stream up. Hung Mao says the Met looks nice at nighttime. Yeah, and there's no one in the picture either. Well, almost nobody in the picture. There's a jogger going up the stairs. Maybe he's a Rocky Balboa. Ike Turner says Fifth Avenue turned into a cab raceway this time of night. Well, yeah, now there's barely any traffic. Janice asks if you need a photo permit to take a photo shoot on the Metropolitan Steps. I'm not sure. I don't think you need a permit, but I could be wrong. Fancy buildings. Can you imagine living here and across the street you have the museum? You go there every day. HC teacher, you heard the Met was donation only on Friday night. Is that true? I don't know what their policy is now. I know for New York City residents, you can pay suggested admission or pay as you wish for general admission. You know what? This might be an idea. Maybe I could take the bus. All right. It's right here. Or, oh.
This is the Midtown 30
Thank you. It's so cold out there. I didn't want to wait for the Guggenheim because I don't know when this bus is gonna come next. Hung Mouse says bus ride, yeah. This bus is gonna fly now. My plan was to show the Guggenheim and then catch the bus south to the 5th Avenue subway station, but the bus is already here, so perfect. Steve says I'm not omniing yet. No, not yet. Primarily because they don't have the unlimited ride options. Hung Mouse says the bumpy ride was somewhat hilarious. Yeah, that one. I put up the video of that. It went from Weehawken, New Jersey to the Port Authority, and it was so bumpy. So I need to take it to 5th Avenue and 61st Street, I believe. Steve says Omni has this thing that caps the amount you spend if you spend above the weekly unlimited. I thought they weren't going to start that until March. And not only that, I have a monthly MetroCard, which is less expensive than the weekly if you use it every day. So the monthly MetroCard is a better value than the weekly. Mimi with $9.99. Thanks, Mimi. Appreciate the support. Hands are so cold right now. It feels colder now that I got on the bus. Oh, Trevor, the longest bus route is Staten Island's S78 at 19.7 miles. Wow. That's a long bus ride. Almost 20 miles long. Melanie says, did I get a new glove? Yes, I bought it in the shopping mall. I actually showed my experience buying a new pair of gloves as a member exclusive video, and also for Patreon members. Bella says no heat in the bus. No, there's heat here. There's plenty of heat here.
6th Avenue East 76th Street.
Dennis says, how well do those rechargeable heated gloves work? Well, the pair I had worked okay. It gave you enough heat not to get frostbite. But I might order a different pair and see how that is. Wade says they should put the text-to-speech on the subway. Yeah, I don't even know what voice they're using, but I feel like I've heard it before on the computer. Mike Joan, how much is the bus? It's $2.75 if you're paying per ride. Fifth Avenue and 72nd. Getting closer now. Sophia is taking the bus safer and cheaper than the subway. They're the same price, I'll give you that much, but as far as safety goes, it depends, I guess, depending on the route and what time it is. I've been on some bus routes where I've seen people get into fights and arguments. At least the bus, if there's something going on, you can always get off. If you're stuck in the subway tunnel, it may be difficult. Kata says, what's the yellow thing in the front of the window? This is the cord to signal your stop. So you can pull on the cord or you can push on the button to signal a stop. Either one works. So I need to get off in about 2 or 3 stops. Mike says, do they have a bus that takes you from 59th Street to where I live in Queens? Not really. There's the Q101, which kind of gets close, but that one doesn't have good headways. The subway is much faster. Thanks, Douglas O'Brien, 99 cents. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Get off at 61st. What's annoying is when you miss your stop. I've done that before. At least if you miss your stop on the bus, it's a short walk to go back, but on the subway, you may be in for like a 10-minute walk. Or if you're unlucky enough to miss your stop and end up in a different borough, like between Manhattan and Queens, then yeah, that's a big mistake. Alright, that's my stop, so I'm gonna pull the cord, so you see it says stop requested. And we get off.
East 61st Street. Please exit through the rear door.
61st. Oh. That guy got off the wrong stop. He did an about face. And that's what I was just saying. That's so funny. I was like, oh, that's what happens when you miss your stop. He got off a stop early, or that was so funny. He got off the bus. He's like, oh, nope. I gotta go back on. He's too busy on his phone to realize where it is. All right. Well, here is the subway station. For coming out tonight. It was fun to explore the Upper East Side with you all, but I'm gonna take the train back home now. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button if you haven't, and I will see you later.